Hello, good day everyone. This is Evelyn Saga, and I would like to welcome you all to our Lesson 7 Calling System. And in this discussion, we discuss all about how calling system works. But before we proceed, let us all define what is calling system. This calling system is a system which controls the engine temperature. The calling system is provided in the IC engine for the following reasons. First, the temperature of the burning gases in the engine cylinder reaches up to 1,500 to 2,000 degrees Celsius, which is above the melting point of the material of the cylinder body and head of the engine. Therefore, if the heat is not dissipated, it would result in the failure of cylinder material. Other reason is also due to very high temperatures, the film of the lubricating oil will get oxidized, thus producing carbon deposits on the surface. This will result in piston seizure. And due to overheating, large temperature differences may lead to a distortion of the engine components due to thermal stress setup. This makes it necessary for the temperature variation to be kept to a minimum. And lastly, higher temperatures also lower the volumetric efficiency of the engine. So now let's discuss the components of cooling system. Actually, in this picture, it is main components of engine cooling system. So first, we have water pump. It is said to be the heart of the engine cooling system. Water pump has radial impeller inside its casing, which is driven by engine itself. Serpentine belt is used to deliver rotational motion of engine main pulley to the water pump pulley. Then we have also radiator. Radiator acts as a heat exchanger for an engine. It is usually made up of aluminum and have lots of small diameter pipes with fins mounted on them. It exchanges the heat of hot water coming from engine with surrounding air. It also has an inlet port, outlet port, drain plug, and a pressure cap. Then the third one is that we have thermostat. It is the thermostat which acts as a valve for a coolant and allows it to flow through radiator only after exceeding a particular temperature value. Thermostat has paraffin wax in it which expands at a particular temperature and opens it up at that temperature. And we have also this coolant temperature sensor. As name suggests, it is a temperature sensing device in engine cooling system, and it monitors the engine temperature. It provides the data required to control the operation of radiator fan. The engine temperature display at driver's console gives reading according to the data provided by coolant temperature sensor. Then as a part of the component of the cooling system is that we have this rubber hoses. In engine cooling system, these rubber hoses are required to make connection between water pump, radiator, and engine so that water or coolant will flow through them, thus completing the circuit. And the last one is that we have radiator overflow tank. It is a plastic tank generally mounted close to radiator and has inlet port connected with radiator and one overflow outlet. It is the same tank where you put in water before ride. And now we come to our main discussion. So, in how this working of engine cooling system. So this is how it goes. So as a piston moves up and down in an engine cylinder due to pressure created by gases formed as a result of burning air-fuel mixture. We have water vents along the length of engine cylinder in engine block, and these vents circulates through engine head and remove the heat with flowing water from the engine in the best possible way. So let's start with water pump, and let's say engine just start and is cold. Water pump inlet and outlet is connected to the engine with help of rubber hoses. We have thermostat mounted in path of outlet to the engine. So water pump by this radial pump through thermostat into the engine water. Hence, thermostat does not allow the water to go into radiator circuit until engine is at low temperature. And water comes back to pump through outlet hose. Coolant temperature sensor is mounted just near the thermostat. So as the water keeps on circulating, it extracts heat from the engine and its temperature rises. As it reaches a temperature between 160 to 190 Fahrenheit. It melts the paraffin wax in thermostat and opens it up. So now this hot water is circulated through radiator circuit. Water enters the radiator through inlet port and exchanges its heat with air as it flows through a number of small radiator pipes, and with help of fins attached to these pipes. But as engine operates at higher RPM, engine's temperature goes up. So does the coolant's temperature. These coolants get heated up to such a high temperature that it would create a high pressure situation in radiator. If such a high pressure keeps on increasing, it would boost out the radiator pipes, which we don't want in any case. So to deal with this pressure, we have pressure cap and radiator overflow tank. When pressure in radiator reaches up to 15 psi of pressure, it lifts up the spring in the pressure cap, thus opening a port for coolant to be transferred to the radiator overflow tank, thus keeping pressure in control. When coolant flowing into the over tank exceeds its volume limits, it flows out of the tank through overflow hose. When pressure drops in radiator, it creates a vacuum in the radiator, thus seeking coolant back to radiator from overflow tank. That's why we fill the radiator overflow tank before going out for a ride if the level of coolants fall below minimum limit. For better understanding, we have this diagram. And that's how it goes. So in engine cooling system, radiator fan starts its operation when temperature exceeds a particular temperature value. It helps in lowering the coolant temperature by blowing air through radiator fins, thus removing heat at a faster rate from the coolant. It is regulated by the data from the coolant temperature sensor. Coolant temperature sensor is a multi-purpose sensor as its data is required in optimizing the performance of modern ECU-equipped engines. What's interesting is that we let the hot coolant through another heater core and make the air blow through it using blower. And this is all about how an engine cooling system works. So if you find anything missing or incorrect, then let me know it through your valuable comments. If you found this post interesting and useful, then don't forget to like and share. Thank you for watching.